Hello and welcome everybody to another wonderful Monday here at MikeySuzeFour for lunchtime with Mikey and Suze. Today, of course, is Get Smart Mondays, where we have two episodes of season 2 of that wonderful spy parody genre TV series. And today we're looking at episode 13 and episode 14 of season 2 of the series. Also, there's two other special events today. First of all, around this time, 8 years ago, my wife Suzanne and I we were moving back here to Toronto, where she had an apartment already, this apartment, and we were going to spend the rest of our lives here. So today is the 8th anniversary of when we moved here for the first time permanently, and then we had our cats a few months later. So you know, so we're very happy. That is today. Oh, hey, buddy. Welcome, Kage Noctum Gaming. Stopping in to say hello. Sick as hell. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I hope you feel better. I hope you get better, sir. Also, today is Happy Star Trek Day 2025. Remember this, September 8th, 1966. If you're older than me, you will remember this. And in this case, PvP. Pleasant Valley Picker will remember this. But on September 8th, 1966, on a very little grainy TV set in our home back in San Francisco, the very first episode aired for that new series they called Star Trek with Shatner, Nimoy, and the rest. And Kelly and DeForest Kelly, and that was great. I mean, and I got to watch it later on. The time I really got to watch it was after I had watched, in the early 70s when I was still a kid. I had watched the animated series, which followed the original series, and they did like 22 episodes of that, and that was fun. But then I started to get to rewatch in reruns syndication the original series, and I've seen all 79 episodes. But it's hard to believe that, 59 years ago, this little thing called Star Trek got started. Yeah, it's really amazing. Let's see. Kage says, did I tell you I had a really good job interview on Friday? No, you didn't tell me, Kage, but that's fantastic, dude. Awesome. Oh yeah, and JPRPH1, or in this case, our good buddy and brother John Pantoriero, is saying, "Hey, Mikey," and Kage and Artum Gaming, and of course he's doing the symbol, which I can do. Live long and prosper, but I have to really put my fingers together to do it. But yes, same to you, John. And hello, Toby. Hey there, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy to you too, Toby. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing okay there in Arizona. Hope everything's going well. Yeah. So again, happy Star Trek Day today. And of course, today is our 8-year anniversary of moving here permanently to Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Living in Scarborough, Southwest. That's our suburb. So near Lake Ontario. Great stuff today. And yeah, so very happy about that today. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the episodes so we can see what we got today. Okay, episode 13 premiered on Saturday, December 10th, 1966. It's called Perils in a Pet Shop, and Chaos is using parrots to learn secret formulas, and then Chaos smuggles them out of the country. That got a 7.4 out of 10 for 198 people that have seen it so far. So probably a good C plus. I give it a B minus. I thought both these episodes actually deserved a B minus because the other episode, which premiered 2 weeks later on Christmas Eve, December 24th, Saturday, 1966, was episode 14, The Whole Tooth, and that's all it says. And on that one, after Max hides some secret plans, he has to go into a jail to retrieve them. And that one also, from 196 people, got a 7.4 out of 10. So I would safely say I could go ahead and probably give these both a B minus. They were just so episodes, not really the standout ones that you really like laugh at and stuff. The one I'm looking forward to, which has Larry Storch in it, they have the famous song, thrill, 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 you know, undelete, undelete, or delete, delete, delete. Make the scene, chaos is mean. Yeah. Or take out the dean. That's the other line from that. Yeah. That's a good song. Okay. So the director of this Perils in a Pet Shop was Bruce Bilson. And along with Mel Brooks and Buck Henry being the writers, as always, Martin Ragaway also wrote this episode. And of course, he has the usual trio: Don Adams, Barbara Feldon, Edward Platt. And let's see. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at Creevely, played by Dick Wilson. And I'm going to look at Johnny Seven, who plays Kosovich. Cool. Yeah, that's the real guy's name, Johnny Seven. Then, of course, you still had Carlson, played by Stacy Keach Sr., David Ketchum, who played Agent 13, and Robert Carvelis, who played Larrabee, but he was uncredited. Yeah. And then of course, the dog named Red, who plays Fang, or also known as Agent K-13. There you go. Who was also uncredited in the episode. All right. So we'll look at Johnny Seven and Dick Wilson after we get through the trivia and everything else on this. Okay. Oops. Hello. Okay. This was Fang's final role. Reportedly, filming the animal was time consuming with the amount of takes necessary before he performed correctly. Aww. So this was the last episode before they took him away. That's terrible. Melnick was named after Daniel Melnick, a partner in Talent Associates, which was the production company of Get Smart. And the formula for the new hydrogen rocket fuel is C2H2O7, according to the recording being played to the parrot. This is also known as carboxyperoxy hydrogen carbonate. You try saying that 3 times fast. Which was first submitted for a patent by Sumitomo Chemical Company in 1980 to be used in a process for the continuous casting of liquid polymerizable compositions as outlined in patent US number 4211742. Cool. All right. Good news. There's no goofs in this episode. Yay. That's awesome. Okay. Let's see. Filming and production. Okay. And as you know, all filming and production done for Get Smart, unless it's done outside of the studio, is Paramount Studios there. And, well, that makes sense today being Star Trek Day. Paramount Plus and Paramount Studios itself in Hollywood are having big, huge events today. Right there on Melrose Avenue in Hollywood. So, very cool. Alrighty. So let's take a look at the 2 gentlemen I said I would take a look at their mini bios. Okay, first there's Johnny Seven. And unfortunately, we did lose Johnny Seven back in 2010. He was an actor, director, and producer. He was born February 23rd, 1926, and then he died January 22nd, 2010. He was the age of 83. So that's pretty cool. He was in a movie called Coney Island Baby in 1959 is one of the things he was known for. He was a prolific American character actor, but he was originally born John Anthony Fetto, Fetto, in the Italian section of Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, New York, to Marie and John Fetto. He was the only boy in a family of 6 children, with sisters Lillian, Terry, Connie, Dolores, and Jean. Considering that much of his future acting work consisted of playing tough gangsters and criminals, it may come as a surprise to discover that until the age of 14, he was a boy soprano. Very cool. He served 2.5 years in the U.S. Army with the 187th Field Artillery Battalion. Thank you for your service, Mr. Johnny 7. And he also is known, Walter Matthau, for The Apartment. I think, well, maybe that wasn't Matthau. Maybe that was Lemon, the other guy. So, yeah, Lemon. He played Carl Matushka in that in 1960. Like I said, he was in The Last Mile and A Coney Island Baby. But in The Last Mile in 1959, he played Tom uh, Diamoro. As John Seven. And then in 1964, he was in a movie called Navajo Run, where he plays Matthew Whitehawk. And in 1977, he was in the TV series Switch, where he plays Al Crawford. And that was on season 3, episode 5, in an episode called Fade Out. So cool. The last thing he was noted for working on was a TV series called Can't Hurry Love, where he plays Gino. And that was in 1995. And from season 1, episode 9, it was called 3 Blind Dates. 3 Blind Dates. Here they go. 3 blind dates to and fro. Like the 3 Blind Mice from Dr. No, the James Bond film. Yeah. Kind of funny. Anyway, that's the mini bio of the veteran Johnny 7. Again, thank you for your service, my friend. All right. And next, we have Dick Wilson, who plays Creevely. All right. And we did lose Dick Wilson in 2007. Now, one of the things that Dick Wilson is very well known for is Don't Squeeze the Charmin. He was the guy who was in those Don't Squeeze the Charmin commercials. That was Dick Wilson. So, yeah, that was him. He was born on July 30th, 1916. Wow. In Preston, Lancashire, 4,000 holes in Blackburn, Lancashire. And he was born in Preston, Lancashire, England. He was an actor known for Bewitched in 1964, The Magical World of Disney back in 1954, and The Twilight Zone in 1959. He was married to Meg Brown. He died on November 19th, 2007, in Woodland Hills, California. He was 91 years old. That is so cool. So he had a good career. Okay, and let's see. All right, so in the Twilight Zone TV series, he appeared in 2 episodes. From season 1, episode 6, he played Jack in an episode called Escape Clause. We've already seen that one. It's very cool. Great episode. All right, and then in season 5, he was the clock mover. Season 5, episode 12, called 90 Years Without Slumbering. And that was in 1963. That is so cool. All right. And then from 1965 to 1972, he was in 18 episodes of Bewitched. He played a man in a bar. He played a man named Montague. He played a drunk. He was Mr. Solo. He was Harry. He played a drunk 3 more times. He was a customer. He was a guy named Frank O'Hara. He was either a drunk at the bar or the man in the bar. And for all 8 seasons. Wow. And drunk again when Tabitha was born. He was Mr. Potter in 3 episodes of Bewitched in season 7. And in season 8, his very last episode he appeared in 1972 was a neighbor. And it was season 8, episode 21, George Washington Zapped Here, part 1. That was a 2-part episode. So that's very cool. He also was in The Magical World of Disney. And in that, he played a guy named Mr. Hodges in a TV movie from Disney called The Whiz Kid and the Mystery at Riverton, part 1 and 2. That was in 1974. Mr. Hodges. And then finally, he's known for a TV series called MathNet, where he plays a grocer. And that was the second episode of season 1 called The Problem of the Missing Monkey. That was in 1987. Very cool. And according to this information from IMDb, background stuff, the last thing he worked on before he passed was Small Wonder. He was in that TV series where he played Mr. Braddock. And that's from 1989. It was from season 4, episode 13, called The Jailbirds. Cool. So that is the career or the mini bio of Dick Wilson. That is so cool. All right. Now we'll take a look at the chat before we move on here to our next episode, which is The Whole Tooth and, directed by William Wiard. Yeah, Wiard, as we said before. The writers were Mel Brooks, Buck Henry, and Lila Garrett came back to write an episode with them. So that's very cool. Okay, so like we said, today is Happy Star Trek Day 2025. And then Kage Noctum Gaming came in. And that's very cool. Again, Kage, I'm so happy for your job interview. I hope that after the interview, you get hired. Because you deserve it, my friend. JPRPH1, of course, John. Welcome, of course. Toby, good to see you, my friend. JPR says I was 2, but at least I remember seeing the last season as it aired somewhat. My brother was 6 years old. So we watched a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, we did too. You know that Dark Shadows, uh, you know, soap opera we've been doing, Curtis Selby and I, and PvP. Yeah, I sat there in a high chair with my mom almost every day, every morning, and we would watch Dark Shadows. That's how popular that show was. We really loved that. That was probably one of only 2. Yeah, well, one of a few. I wouldn't say just 2 because I watched Dallas and Dynasty and some of those in the later evenings. But I really enjoyed Dark Shadows, and then later on in life, I got to watch as my morning show between classes. I got to watch Bold and the Beautiful for like 2 seasons, but then the guy who played Ridge just got boring after a while. So that's my story. JPR says howdy to Toby. Toby says howdy and greetings. Hey, my Swedish brother from Sweden, Mike Seha. Welcome, Mike. Big thumbs up to you too, sir. Good to see you, brother. Yeah. So Mike, Toby, John, and Kage. Wow. And Toby. Yeah. Well, I did say Toby. Yeah. Mike, Toby, John, and Kage. There we go. Yeah. That's great to see all of you. And of course, my wife, my beautiful wife, Suzanne, watching over the chat today, as always. So say hello to Suzanne if you get a chance. We got 6 likes. We got 3 people watching. Very cool. And Joe, hey, what do you know? Joe from Scotland. Joe Haribo. Sup, folks? How you doing there, Joe? Good to see you, my friend. Very good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in today. Alrighty, well, let's get to this last episode for today. The Whole Tooth and. Okay. All right. And besides the 3, of course, let's see. I think as Dr. Reinhouse, John Alvin. We'll take a look at him. And then there is Stuart Nisbet as Shulman. Yeah, so we'll look at John Alvin and Stuart Nisbet. Okay. So let's take a look at the trivia. Okay. Max impersonates Jimmy Cagney when he first enters the prison. And Max's prisoner number is 868-686. So that's basically Agent 86 3 straight times. Nice. All right, there are a couple goofs in this one, unlike the other one. And in this one, there is just one goof reported. It's errors in geography. So when Max is sent before a judge in the Midwest, the establishing shot of the courthouse is of the Supreme Court building, again, in Washington, D.C. Well, they got to film around Washington, D.C., so it could, any of those buildings could stand in for anything, really. So, alrighty. And I don't see any soundtracks. And of course, Paramount Studios did all the interiors. So we're all set there. And let's, of course, take a look at those two gentlemen we mentioned. All right. Okay, so the actor John Alvin, he was born in 1917. He did pass away in 2009, and he was 91 years old. And so it says he was born October 24th of 1917 in Chicago. He did Somewhere in Time in 1980, The Beast with Five Fingers in 1946, and The Very Thought of You in 1944. He also did Objective Burma in 45. He was married to Betty June Lewis. He died on February 27, 2009 in Thousand Oaks, California. As I said, he was 91 years old. Okay, so let's see. In 1943, he was in a movie. He played the sound man, or he was the sound man in Destination Tokyo. In 1944, The Very Thought of You, he played Cal Wheeler. In 46, The Beast with Five Fingers, he played Donald Arlington. And in 1980, Somewhere in Time, he played Arthur's father. Okay. The last thing, according to the information he worked in, was in a movie called Milk Money in 1994. He played the rich old guy. That's all it says. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know how I mentioned he was in Bold and the Beautiful? Yeah, he played Reverend Fuller for 3 episodes of that in 1991 with the guy who played Ridge. Yeah, and he was in 3 straight episodes from season 1. He was in season 1, episode 950, 951, and 952. Like I said, in 1991, he played Reverend Fuller. I remember that. Yeah, he was good. I liked him. Yeah, that was good. Okay, so John Alvin. Wow. What a memory, huh? Okay, next we have Stuart Nisbet playing Showman. All right, we did lose Stuart as an actor in 2016. He was born January 17th in Los Angeles, character actor, 1934, and died June 23rd, 2016. So he was 82 years of age. The son of Emmett and Hazel Nisbet. Stewart grew up in Bakersfield, California, before eventually moving to and settling down in Glendale, California. He studied acting at both Los Angeles City College and California State University in LA. And then he first started acting in various films and television after that. Let's see. In 1967, he was in the Heat of the Night original movie before it led to the series, where he plays Shule, or yeah, Shule or Shuey. I'm sorry, 1967. He was in Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. He was part of a couple at the station in 1974. In 1989, he was in The Fabulous Baker Boys. That's a great movie. He played a veterinarian in that. And then in Murder in the First, which is like Murder in the First Degree, in 1995, he played Harvey, or Harv. Nice. The last thing he worked on was The Practice. That was a TV series where he played Judge R. Kenny from 2001, and that was season 6, episode 5, part 2 of Vanished from The Practice. Cool. Alrighty, so. He also did the Tony Danza show in 97 for an episode. That's awesome. Oh, and he worked with Jane Seymour and Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, also in 1997. Nice. So that was Stuart Nisbet. Okay. Wow. Well, I didn't think we got that fast today. Alrighty, so for next week, let's cross all this out and go on and let's see. Yeah, we'll do this little thing here. So next week we have episode 15 and 16 of season 2. So I'll just put GS Season 2, episode 15 and 16. There we go. I always like to write them down so I have them, thought about and looked at. Okay, so next week, next Monday, will be Kiss of Death, which premiered on December 31st, 1966, or as we all like to call it, New Year's Eve. And let's see. The last one, or the next one then after that, It Takes One to Know One, which premiered January 7th, 1967. That's so cool. Alrighty, so, and on that one, the second episode I talk about next week, it'll feature again Dick Gautier as Jaime the Robot. Cool. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Alrighty. So let's see. After we said greetings from Mike Seha and, of course, Joe Haribo. And Joe says he's on canine duty, but he's heading home. Awesome, sir. Well, you do great work there, Joe. We appreciate it. John says hello to Joe. He also said hello to Mike. And Roger Blair. Hey, Roger Blair. Welcome, welcome. He says, hey, Mikey. And Lemon Pie says, good morning. Sir Lemon, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. And, of course, he says, hi, Mikey and Suzanne. And welcome, Booger 414. 414 Booger and Christine. So welcome, both of you. Hello. Definitely hello to both of you. So, yeah, we have a few minutes. We got 7 likes. We got 5 people watching. So, like I said, other than today, of course, being the beginning of Star Trek, the series, the original series, way back in 1966 on September 8th today, 59 years ago. This was also our 8-year anniversary of when Suzanne and I left Arizona, drove up through California, stayed there for about a month, trying to find a place to live. We were trying to find a brand new place to live. Something new, fresh start. Didn't happen. So then we drove through wildfires all the way up through Sacramento, California, and we stopped in San Francisco for what may be the last time until I die, because in my will I want my ashes spread all over the peninsula there. But it was probably for the last time that I got to show Suzanne where I lived. She got to touch the Pacific Ocean with her bare foot, so that means she's been to both Pacific coast and Atlantic coast, because she used to live in Newfoundland. And I took her there, and then I took her to my favorite camp spot way up there in Ukiah, California. Outside of that, 20 miles away, called Blue Lakes, which is a wonderful. It's also known as the La Trianon Resort. It's where my parents and I and our family went for a number of years to spend time with my grandparents, who are no longer with us. Rest in peace. And we had fun. We were in cabins and stuff. It was the first place that I ever got stung, and the only time I ever got stung by a honeybee, and freaked out ever since. And I have mesophobia because of it. So thanks a lot. That happened when I was 7. But see, the thing is, when I got stung, I went immediately. My body chemistry can't handle it, so I went into anaphylactic shock. They had to drive 20 miles down to the nearest clinic at the time, which, like I said, is in Ukiah, UKIAH, California, and I had to, get an EpiPen or whatever the equivalent of an EpiPen was back then, 1972. So I don't know what the equivalent was, but that's what I had to get done. So, yeah. And so we, like I said, we went through California, then we came up through Idaho, is where we crossed over into Canada for what ends up becoming the last time that we crossed into Canada together. And then we drove all the way across the rest of Canada till we got to Toronto. We dropped off our moving van, took all of our stuff First, we dropped it off here in the apartment, which was a total mess. It was totally destroyed almost. And it took us a whole 31 days to put it back together from September 8th to October 9th of 2017. And then eventually we got Moon Pie, our first cat. And then, a couple of years later, we got Deja Vu. We've been happy ever since. And so today is a special day for us, too. We're celebrating. And let's see. John says howdy to Lemon Pie and Booger. John also says howdy to Roger Blair. And Booger says hello to John. And Lemon says hello to John. And Booger says, I read somewhere that everyone is allergic to bee stings. Well, we all just have different levels of reactions. Yeah, and, and that's, like I said, Booger, I have mesophobia, which is justifiably so. If I didn't have that, then I'd be in trouble every time I got stung by a bee or a wasp or a yellow jacket or a hornet, anything like that. And Suzanne has already gone through it. She already got stung one time when we went to the Toronto Zoo here in the city, just outside the city. And she got stung by a wasp. And she started to go into shock. And luckily, one of the zookeepers nearby had an EpiPen and used it. So, yeah, it's an injection. So it's like kind of a cross between adrenaline and some other kind of drug. And when it goes in you, it's supposed to stop your reactions. So, yeah. I was very worried about my wife. And Booger says, happy anniversary. Great story about your road trip. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We determined that by the time, when we started, when we went down to Arizona for a couple months, to spend time with the folks and everything, and with my whole family, whatever, we were there for a few months. It took us over 3,000 miles to get down there. And we started from Buffalo, New York. We crossed the border at the Peace Bridge. We went there, got a rental car, which was a red Nissan Rogue, which was beautiful. We drove that across the country with 3 of our cats because we left one cat back at home when Suzanne came to first visit my parents, and then we got married in a courthouse. So that was troublemaker. We left her or him back there, and then we took the 2 girls, Chaos and Mischief we had at the time, and her favorite boy, Lucky, and we took them across country. That was fun, across the United States. And then when we left, Lucky had passed away, rest in peace, in Arizona. We went into California. We were going to get a brand new home. We never found one. And unfortunately, we lost one of our babies there. And then when we went up to Mitchell, Oregon, which was one of the towns we stopped in for the night, I wanted to sleep in a cabin with my wife. So we went into a cabin, and our other 2 girls disappeared the next day. So, the girl and the boy. So, yeah. So that was it. By the time we got home with our van, we were exhausted. We had been on the road for about 7 days, a full week. I didn't work anymore because I after I had shut down all my accounts, I was fully retired. I didn't have any more work to do. I put in my 2 weeks at both jobs, worked them, did them. Everything was gone. And by August 2017, we moved. And by the time we got back home after a month and so, living on the road and everything, back on September 8th, today, 8 years ago. And then we've been here ever since. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't go anywhere else. This is where I belong. I'm with my wife. I'm with our cats that we truly love and we have now for the rest of our lives. Can't beat it. I have the life. This is the life. This is how I enjoy this. Let's see. John says we were at a summer pharmacy seminar at a ski resort. When my buddy's fiance discovered she was allergic to shellfish. Ooh, they had to rush her down the mountain. Yeah, Suzanne is allergic too. She's allergic to anything shellfish, crabs, crustaceans. If she gets bit by a bed bug or a cockroach or anything like that, yeah, she's not in a good way. So, yeah, we have to avoid that ourselves. And hello, Kevin Theme Park Adventures. Welcome. Hey, Mikey. welcome to you, sir. And hello to Lemon. And Kevin also says hello to Roger Blair. And as well, John says hello to Kevin. And Sir Lemon says hi, Kevin. That's really great of you guys. Oh, and don't forget, make sure you keep track of your top of the top fans. Um, up there where you keep track of your numbers and stuff, how many times you answer in the chat, see who's number one, who's number two, that sort of thing. uh, let's see. Right now, I think Lemon is number two. Booger is number three. Huh. But it doesn't tell me. Oh, number one was Kage. Kage is number one so far. So, yeah. In case you guys keep track of that sort of thing. Like a little personal contest or something. It's kind of funny. And yeah, and hey John from Kevin. So there you go. Awesome guys. Yeah, it's great to see you all. Really wonderful to see all of you today. We got 8 likes. We got 5 people still watching. Awesome. Yeah. So, like I said, we've been here 8 years as of today. And like I said, it took us exactly a calendar month, 31 days to clean up this place. It was a disaster, but it was home, you know. And as I was telling my wonderful wife earlier, it really bonded us together. We were already bonded as a couple. At that point, we had already known each other, you know, both, online, we first met, and then over the phone. And then the 2 times I came up in 2015 to visit her, personally up here. And so by that time, and then when we got married in 2016, which next year, April 19th, is going to be our 10-year wedding anniversary. We got married in the courthouse there in Phoenix, Arizona. Um, and before that, like I said, we got married at Niagara Falls. So we've already celebrated our 10-year anniversary there in Niagara Falls. That was in June this year, 23rd of 2025 was 10 official years. So that was fun. Yeah. Um, and then, hey, Kevin. Yep, Roger. Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, we're very happy now. We got a, it's a small place, which is perfect for us. We don't need a big space. We don't need a big house. We had a bigger apartment before this. We lived in a 1-bedroom that I was living in down there in Arizona, down in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it had a fireplace in it. And one big bedroom and one big kitchen and one big living room. And, it was a big apartment for us. It was a lot. And, we, of course, at that time we had 4 cats, so they could run around and do whatever. But now we got a smaller place. We have our 2 beautiful girls, Moonpie and Deja, and we're happy. We're happy with this space. And we have a big enough bed that just fills up pretty much almost all of the apartment. Also. So we actually have removed, ever since we've been here all these 8 years, we actually removed a lot of stuff. We had to because of bed bug problems, other matters that were going on. This place, ever since I moved in here, has changed hands by landlords, what, 5, 6 times? Something like that. Anyway, it's ridiculous. I mean, and these people in here, most of them are taking weed as a prescription drug, but some of them are just doing it for fun, you know, and they're not supposed to smoke in this building. People still do. These people are nuts. This place used to be a hospice, like a nursing home for senior citizens. When the senior citizens got kicked out, they made this lower income housing, which is what Suzanne and I do. We share, uh, we're both disabled people to an extent, so we have to live in a lower income apartment like this, and but we get a very good disability payment each month, and we can live off that because Suzanne is an economical expert. She knows more about finances and stuff than I do. So I let her take over. I say, hey, you go take over, babe. You control all of that. Alrighty, yeah. And then like I said, John said hello to Kevin, and Sir Lemon said hello to Kevin, and Kevin said hello to John, Roger Blair said hello to Kevin, and Roger Blair said hello to John P. or JP. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so let's see. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. But don't forget, if you like our video today, make sure you hit that like button. Uh, you know, I always say that it's good for the algorithm for our channel. Whenever we reach 10 or more likes on a single, webcam or podcast or whatever, or live stream, um, that helps out. It does. It helps out a lot. And I always say 10 like hype. So whenever I see that, I go hashtag 10 like hype in the comments at the end of the video. And we picked up 5 more subscribers to our channel. So now we have 311 wonderful family members, new family members. Well, 5 more new family members, but now we have 311 of them. So I'm very happy. We're both very happy. We only need 39 more to get to our next goal, which is 350 wonderful members. So we're trying to get to that. And also, we're only looking at 150 more before we get to 500 and the monetization. And if any of you feel like, donating, which is fine. If you don't, that's totally fine too. And you want to give us a super chat or a super sticker, anything like that. Once we reach 500, we'll let you know, definitely. And if you can start sending them in the chat if you'd like to, that'd be great. And we would love that. Yeah. We'd be very appreciative of it. Yeah, definitely. I tell Suzanne it's like my second job, getting to become monetized for the channel for us so that we can make a little extra on the side to help us out. Because we do have some future surgeries that have to be done. Suzanne's got to go through both her knees to be replaced. She has to have her right shoulder worked on because she has tendonitis, needs to get that fixed. My brother Larry, of course, is going through his previous heart attack, the loss of his mother, Charlene, after all those years. And he's got other medical problems. He's got a collapsed lung. Um, he's got problems, and I'm worried about him. I always worry about him because, like I said, since 1976, I've known him for 50 years. So next year in June of 1976 will be our 50th anniversary as best friends. We've known each other for a very long time. Now, Suzanne, here in Canada, ever since she moved to Toronto back in 1999, she's known her best friend Scotty for over 20 years. So those two are best friends, and Larry and I are the best friends. So, and thankfully they're both still around. So I mean, it's great. And there's a lot to be thankful for. Well, this week, besides today, September 11th, of course, is my brother's birthday. He turns 58. And he's not proud of it. He's not proud that his birthday lands on the, one of the worst days in American history and in world history, all this 24 years ago. Yeah. And he's a teacher, so he gets told that all the time when it's his birthday day. His students always ask him, Mr. Gordon Fournier, that's his last name. Um, you know, do you know today was such and such? He says yes. And he has to tell them, like, all the time. And Gorilla's Random Thoughts says two. Two what? Yeah, two what there, Gorilla? Welcome, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Good to see you. Great to see you, my friend. Yeah, so like I say, my brother's birthday is coming up on Thursday. One of my best friends, Cheryl, who's been gone for like almost 3 years now. I don't know if she's alive or dead. Still kind of worries me, but you got to move on, right? Her birthday is 10 days before mine, so she turns 60 on Friday, on the 12th. And then on the 21st of September is my sister-in-law, Janet, who is my brother's wife, and her birthday, her 60th, is the day before mine. And then on Monday, the 22nd, of course, my big 6-0. Yeah, we're going to celebrate too. We'll have a live stream in the evening at around 7 p.m. Eastern, and I'll show you our cake that we're going to be eating that day, a Black Forest cake, really good. And then, we'll be having pizza. So, pizza, zero sugar soda, and Black Forest cake for my birthday. Yeah, should be fun. Yeah, it's good to see you, Gorilla. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, my friend. Um, so let's see. So, like I said, don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to share the channel with others, and don't forget to subscribe. As I said, we're only 39 away from 350, our next goal. And of course, don't forget to hit that all notifications bell. From now on, you should keep this close to me. See? Don't forget that bell. Highlight that bell so that you get all notifications of any future webcasts, live streams, or any webcams like this. So that you folks know what's coming. Okay, so let's see. Like I said, 2 more episodes of TOS tomorrow, and at 12 noon, and then from season 2, and then Wednesday, it will be 2 more episodes of season 5 of the A Team. We're almost done with that, and then we'll take a couple Wednesdays off after I'm done. After I do the last reboot review quickly of the A Team from 2010 with Liam Neeson as Hannibal. Yeah, what a disaster that was. But I still enjoyed it. I mean, they had Dwight Schultz and Dirk Benedict show up in their roles, in cameos, so that was nice. Not Mr. T though, and now I understand why he didn't appear. And it wasn't just the fact that he didn't want to be stereotyped. It was other things that were going on at that time. But now I know. I just read about his life, some more of his background, and I know what Mr. T or Lawrence went through. So yeah. So I understand. I do understand. Let's see. What else is going on? Okay. So tomorrow night, Gorilla will have his cigar lounge. Usually around 9 o'clock his time, p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you're there for us for that, for his lounge. Let's see. Wednesday, I don't think anything else is going on except for the A Team. So not much happening Wednesday. Thursday, Gorilla will be doing his Twilight Zone, 4 more episodes from season 1. And also, let's see, Thursday. No, I can't see anything else. Okay. And then on Friday morning, or in my case, afternoon, we might go ahead and do the Dark Shadows with Curtis Selby, myself, and PvP, and possibly Larry, my brother, to, help with us. And then at 3 p.m., as I said, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Central, will be the live stream. Uh, it's my 1v1 with my next brother, Brother Jay. Brother Jay. I love saying that. Aldridge from Louisiana. And I'll interview him and we'll be talking about just about anything. So you guys and girls have a chance to learn more about the other side of Jay Aldridge, Brother Jay. So the one that does prayers for us too. So make sure you check him out on Friday afternoon with me here on the MikeySuzeFour channel. And then on Friday night, Gorilla, hopefully he'll be able to do his next episode of the Waltons, which in this case I believe is season 5, episode 9. I don't remember the title to it immediately, but I know Gorilla's got it. So that's Friday, and then finally on Saturday night at 5:35 p.m. Eastern, Mr. Chance Bartels of the Nostalgic Podblast and myself, co-host Mikey, will talk about the 50th anniversary of Space 1999, which featured the awesome Martin Landau as Commander Koenig, or Koenig, some people said it that way, and Barbara Bain, Miss Barbara Bain. So, It should be a lot of fun. That'll be Saturday night at 5:35 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you check that out. From Atlanta, Georgia, Chance Bartels, the Nostalgic Pod Blast, with co-host Mikey. Yeah, so much fun. And John says, howdy, gorillas. Sweet. Yeah. Well, again, as I said, it's wonderful to see John Pantoriero here. Uh-oh. Well, I think we're going to have to cut this short, folks. That alarm's going to go off for the next 15 minutes. So, quick prayers to all of our family members that we care about, both our Jays in Louisiana and Michigan, and to all of you here in the chat, John, Gorilla, Roger, Toby, Lemon, Kage, Toby, Booger, and Christine, and Kage, Noctum Gaming, Joe Haribo, Mike Seha. We got all of you folks there. And yep, Toby, I did mention. All right, cool. And Kevin, Theme Park Adventure. So thank you all for being here, guys. So much. We appreciate you. Yeah, fire alarms are annoying when they cut into our video time. Yes, sir, they do. They're very, very irritable. But, God bless all of you, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, to all of you out there, everybody in our family. God bless my beautiful wife. God bless my beautiful cats, Moonpie and Deja Vu. And, of course, remember, always expect the unexpected here at MikeySuzeFour. Don't forget that always be yourself, as Larry always says. And, of course, now the aisles close from the wonderful Gene Siskel and his family of the Chicago Tribune formerly. And, of course, last but not least, my wife who always says, leave everything in God's hands and you'll never go wrong. So I want to thank everyone again for being here. And Kevin says hello to Gorilla. Amen from Kevin and prayers. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time tomorrow for the 2 episodes of TOS. Take care until then, and God bless you all.